Everybody, Captain Jack here with another modded Minecraft tutorial. This one's going to be about industrial foregoing souls and Soulplied Energistics. This is an incredibly powerful set of add-ons for Applied Energistics 2 and industrial foregoing, and it will allow us to tick accelerate blocks and entities and make them go extremely fast. Industrial Foregoing Souls essentially just adds 3 items, the Soul Laser Base, the Soul Pipe, and the Soul Surge, and Soulplied Energistics allows you to access Warden Souls within your Applied Energistics network. Depending on what mod pack you're playing, you might find that your recipes are a little bit different, but generally speaking, you need 3 different fluids to get started with Industrial Foregoing. The first fluid is Latex. To get Latex, build a fluid extractor and aim it at a log, and that will automatically begin extracting latex from it. However, initially it's very slow. To speed it up a little bit, we can go ahead and throw some power on it. That will make it a little bit faster, and then we can use add-on tiers to make this thing very quick. The next fluid you'll need is pink slime. To get pink slime, we're going to be using the mob slaughter factory, and that's going to kill the mobs in front of it, and it's going to produce pink slime as well as liquid meat. You can set the export faces using the GUI down here. Initially, the working area of this block is very small, so I would suggest making an add-on to increase the range of the area. You can get up to a very, very large space, and every time this thing kills something, it will create pink slime and liquid meat. If we go ahead and turn this on, you'll see the cows die, and we get a little bit more pink slime and a little bit more liquid meat. The amount that you get does depend on the mob entity that you have killed in front of this thing. So for instance, liquid meat, if I throw a warden down, this is going to kill the warden and make an absolute ton of liquid meat, and it's also going to create about 500 millibuckets of pink slime. I highly recommend automating the dissolution chamber, either by filling the fluid automatically and just having it pumped in completely, and then you just put whatever recipe you need there for latex in this one, pink slime in this one, and ether gas in this one. Or you can keep the dissolution chamber empty and program the pattern with the required fluid in there so you can run every single craft through one single dissolution chamber. The latex, pink slime, and ether gas are used for these machine frames. So for the simple machine frame, we need a little bit of latex. For the advanced machine frame, we need a little bit of pink slime and a simple machine frame. And finally, for the supreme machine frame, we're going to need a little bit of ether gas along with the advanced machine frame. Once you have access to this, you essentially have access to just about everything in the mod. In order to keep the video length a little bit manageable, I'm going to assume a pretty basic level understanding of industrial foregoing. To get ether gas, you're going to need to make a fluid laser base and some laser drills. The general idea of how to set this up is you're going to put down your fluid laser base, and you want to leave enough room so that you can build a wither directly below this. Next, go ahead and put a 1 block space between here and add yourself a laser drill. Shift right click, and you can see that you need this little thing pointed at the laser drill, and if you get the little particles going into it, you know you set it up correctly. In order to harvest ether gas, you will need a purple laser lens that's made inside a dissolution chamber. Go ahead and put that in your fluid laser base and upgrade it. The laser drills will need power, and you'll also want to upgrade these as well. In this example here, I'm using 12 laser drills to harvest ether gas from my wither down here, and the gas is going into the fluid laser base right here. As an additional detail, you can also add more laser drills above and below this one right here. So you can see that if I go ahead and power this up, the particles are coming from this down into there. So you can place another layer of these up here and another layer of them down there, but it's probably not really that necessary. The higher tier add-ons you have in here, the quicker you'll harvest that ether gas. And then if you go ahead and place a tank above it or a storage bus or whatever you want, just select the output, hit push, and that will push it out through there, and then you can use it inside of your dissolution chamber. In order to lock the wither in place so it doesn't destroy your entire base, you will need a stasis chamber. And again, I highly recommend you put a bunch of add-ons inside of this to make it work very quickly. One of the things I like to do with my stasis chambers is provide it with a passive source of constant energy. Thermal generators are really great. This one's producing 4,900 FE per tick. If you just put it on top of a block of blaze and give it some water, this will definitely have enough power to keep this running 24/7 in case there's any emergencies or you lose power in your base for whatever reason. Just an additional safety net. Now, when you have a wither in your base, it's going to make an obnoxious sound, and you're not going to want to listen to this the whole time. Open up your inventory, go to ESM, create a new anchor just like this, and search for wither right here, and just go ahead and mute that. This is definitely the hardest of the 3 fluids to get, but now that we have it, we can move on. So this is going to be where recipes maybe deviate a little bit. So in this mod pack, my soul pipes are going to cost a little bit of pink slime along with this stuff here. The soul surge is going to cost unstable portal fluid from just dire things, along with this, 2 simple machine frames and a skulk shrieker. And then the soul laser base, which is very complicated. It's going to require 2 supreme machine frames and 1,000 millibuckets of unstable portal fluid. And once you have your dissolution chamber programmed, go ahead and automate it. Again, make sure you check the recipes for these items in your mod pack because the fluids required may be completely different. Now, in order to gain access to Warden Souls, we are going to need to use the Soul Laser Base on a Warden. So we've set up our laser drills in the same configuration. We provided them power. We've upgraded them. Before we put our Warden down, we're going to want to actually mute this. So we're going to go back to, well, we'll create a new anchor wherever your Warden happens to be. Search for Warden. And then we're going to get rid of the heartbeat, ambient. We're just going to literally turn off all of this stuff because we don't want to hear any of it anywhere near this guy. So we have everything we need, including our stasis chamber to make sure the Warden does not wander off. And we're going to just pop him right here. And if you look inside the Soul Laser Base, you can see that our soul storage is going up. In order for this entire thing to work, you will have to have a blue laser lens. So if you're not generating any souls, it's just because you don't have the correct lens inside of there. Now, if you look at the health bar at the top of my screen, you'll notice that these laser lenses are actually killing the Warden. And it just filled up all the way with souls, so it's going to stop. But it definitely is possible that if you have enough tier 4 upgrades inside of these machines, your withers or your warden's just going to die. In order to prevent that, I would highly recommend you adding a second stasis chamber to your setup. The stasis chambers actually heal the mobs that are within its range, so a second one will definitely keep your warden alive with no problem, presuming that it is upgraded. So now we can make all 3 blocks. We have our warden souls. How do we use them? It's actually very simple. You're just going to slap some soul pipe on top of your soul laser base, and that will give this piping the access to the storage inside of here. In order to actually utilize the tick acceleration, you're going to need to aim these things called soul surges at the block or entity that you want to tick accelerate. So if I open up this ultimate crushing factory and put in a bunch of diamonds, you can see that there's no upgrades inside this thing except for muffling. It's not very fast, right? So we're just going to attach these one by one. We're going to attach one soul surge. So here's our speed. There's one. You can visibly see that it has sped up quite a bit. And then we can continue to attach these and make this faster and faster and faster. So we'll attach it on 5 sides here. And here we go. This is the beauty of these machines. So I'm going to run a quick experiment here. We can see that we have 99.33% souls inside of here. I've gotten rid of the warden and I've soul surged the crushing factory on 5 sides. I've also added all 8 speed and energy upgrades to the machine. And this is probably the only demonstration that you need to tell you that this is an extremely powerful combination. Done. Crushing up all 9 stacks of that diamond brought us down to about 97% soul storage. Another awesome feature of this is that you can tick accelerate entities. So I'm going to go ahead and give this guy a stack of raw iron. And what these guys do is they crush the iron, and we'll see kind of how fast this guy works. Let's go, buddy. Let's go. There we go. He just crushed 1 and it made 3 crushed iron. But this is really slow, so we're going to want to speed it up. So I'm just going to continue to connect these and we'll kind of see how this impacts our soul storage. So let's go ahead and tick accelerate this dude on 4 sides. There we go. And you can see that it has made a huge difference in this guy's speed. We can also soul surge things like Drigmies from Ars Nouveau, and right now this guy is working very, very slowly. So if we go ahead and connect this guy to our whole line here, you can kind of see that immediately you start to see results. So this is a great way to speed something up even like this. So for the past 5 minutes or so, we've drained our system down to 73, 74% soul storage. Now let's talk about how to transport souls through your Applied Energistics system with Soulplied Energistics. If you're not sure how to use Applied Energistics, we do have a whole series on how to use literally every single item in the whole mod. So again, assuming a basic understanding of this mod, you're going to need some sort of system, some sort of storage. Actually, for this example, we're not really going to need storage. I'm going to do this rather messily, but I'm going to attach a storage bus onto our soul laser base. And then we're just going to drag this all the way over here. Okay, so right now there's actually nothing inside of my system at all. And if I connect this storage bus on top of that soul laser base, now we can see that I have souls inside of my system. You can't store these in any sort of storage containers to my knowledge. Maybe that will be updated in the future. Basically, the only way to have access to these is to just see them inside of that soul laser base with the storage bus. So now that we have access to our souls, you're going to need an ME interface. It could be the multi-part one, or it could be the full block version. On either one, though, it's the same. Just open up the GUI here, take this soul surge right here, hover over the arrow on any one of these, right click, and that is going to export Warden Souls out of your interface. If you have absolutely tons of machines soul surged off of one interface, pushing 5 per tick, I assume, you can go in and you can add more per interface. So in this example, we'll show you how to use Soulplied Energistics on a blood infuser from Evilcraft, which is an extremely slow machine. So when this block is not soul surged, for instance, we're making diamond promise acceptors here, you see the bar literally hasn't even moved yet. Ah, there we go. There's 1 tick. This machine takes absolutely forever. So this is a great machine to use these soul surges on. So I'm just going to go ahead and soul surge on 5 sides. There we go. You can see how much of an impact this has made on this very, very, very slow craft. Before we end this, I just want to show you that automating the dissolution chamber and also soul surging it is one of the best things you could possibly do for this mod. So here we have our machine, we have our interface. Let's go ahead and add some souls to this. Let's pipe this here. Go ahead and grab a soul surge, and we're going to soul surge here, 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 and we're going to leave one facing open actually. Let's connect this side and this side. So we're soul surged on 3 sides. That's fine for now. So as a little bonus, let's see exactly how we program some of these recipes. We're going to put down a pattern provider, attach it with a cable, make sure it's online. Next, let's go ahead and program a recipe in. So we'll use this range add-on tier 12. This is going to require a bucket of latex. So we're just going to shift click that right in there. We're going to leave this in here that says we're going to use the latex, program the recipe, and then drop it in our pattern provider. Now let's go ahead and request a craft. Done. That's going to make that. It's going to auto export into the pattern provider, and we've automated this machine. The beauty of doing it this way is that in the same machine, we can also use a recipe that requires pink slime. So let's program that, drop it inside. And now let's go ahead and craft a couple of these. It's going to put the exact amount of fluid that we need inside of there, and it's going to create them very quickly. Just a reminder to set your pattern providers to do not push crafting ingredients if the inventory contains a pattern input. Blocking mode. When I found out about this mod, I could not believe that I was not using it sooner, and now I literally incorporate it into my builds on every single possible machine that I can. The true beauty of this mod is that it allows you to have actually less machines to do the same thing faster than just having a whole row of like the same machine. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and show us some love, and as always guys, stay poised.